Good morning, everybody. I am JJW, and this is rumble.com/JJW, where we talk news and politics and, I don't know, elves and werewolves and all kinds of stuff. Whatever makes us happy in the news, or whatever makes us mad in the news, or whatever we like or don't like, or whatever. Hold on. It seems like there's a funny, strange-looking, slightly bald elf tapping on the window. Let me see who this is. Oh, there. Good morning.
Let
Hello
me
there.
in.
Big
Let me
kahuna.
in. Hello.
Good morning. How
You're
are you
over
doing,
here
Deacon?
today.
Oh,
Hi,
hold on.
JJ.
There. Oh, there. I'm fixed. I'm in my spot. I'm back where I belong.
It's about as high tech as we get, people.
Yeah. Do you know how hard it is for me to do any of this? Hey, Deacon, let me ask you a question. I was about to figure out if I could do a Christmas themed background of some kind, but then I was like, hold on, I have this old political one left over. Is this appropriate for Christmas? I don't think it works. I don't think it works. No, okay. I guess I'll have to make a Christmas one. Deacon, I woke up like 10 minutes ago.
We do have a background that does, or maybe not a background, but we have a. Is that Christmassy?
The Christmas. That's the night of the living, disgusting politicians. That's what that is.
You haven't been awake very long. Sorry, a very loud train is going by right now. It's very loud for some reason today.
Choo choo. Maybe they're fans of the show and they like to interrupt. Ooh, my lights came on.
You were awake at like 10 last night. I saw you had posted. You were posting articles in our little pre-show thing at 10.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, at 10 was in Dreamland, flying over my high school or whatever I did last night.
Really? All right.
I have a reoccurring dream. I had a reoccurring dream for a long time. I haven't had it in a while. That I would fly over my old gymnasium of my middle school. It was weird.
Is that right?
I don't know. Yeah, it was just I was in that area, but I would always fly over, and that was the reoccurring part of my dream. I would always dream about the same places in my dream. The reoccurring dreams. I would have very vivid reoccurring dreams, but they were the same places. Like there is a town that I could imaginary town in my head that I could draw you a map to, and it's where I go when I dream. It's really weird. I don't go there every time, but it's very common for me to dream that I'm.
Do you when you're dreaming? Do you have that that lucid dream type experience where you can like control what's happening?
I've done that. I've done that a few times, and it's only been. I this is the only time I've ever been able to lucid dream. And I haven't done it in so long, but I can vividly remember doing this many times. When I would be asleep like this, and I would roll over face down into the pillow as a younger kid. Whatever I was dreaming about, I was automatically dreaming that I was sitting in a library with my face down in a book. And that's where I would what I was dreaming about. The dream would switch to me sitting in a library face down in a book. And I could not turn my head. It was like it took every ounce of energy in the universe just to turn my head sideways off the pillow. And my brain would eventually, as I was dreaming, my brain would eventually figure out you're not sitting in a library. You're asleep in your bed and you've rolled over your face down into a pillow, but I was still asleep. So it was like physically demanding for me to just go and turn my head. It was so weird, but I would eventually go, and I was no longer in a library. I was gone back in La La Land, not even aware that I was asleep or awake or anything. It's just, it was really weird situation that has happened to me. I'll say a handful of times, 6 or 7.
They're vivid, and you remember them really well.
Yes, I bet it hasn't happened in 30 years.
It's kind of interesting because there's some dreams that you can remember super vividly, and there's others that as soon as you like grasp at the memory, they're gone.
They're fleeting,
evaporated.
They just evaporate. Yeah, that's a good term.
I've never been able to lucid dream. That's never been something that I've been able to do that I can remember anyway.
I had a friend who claimed that he could do it all the time, and I don't know whether to believe him or not. He claimed that he could. I have no reason to not believe him. He's not a liar, but
And the
that's
thing
the only
is,
time that I've ever
the
done it.
this the speed at which it happens, like the speed at which dreams happen, it's not like you like, oh, you fall asleep and I'm lucid dreaming, and then you're actively dreaming for 8 hours. No, the dreams that you have that you remember, you had for like 10 seconds or something, like right before you woke up. And and it seems like it's a long story, but it was really like just a few seconds or something. So like your brain is just like fire, 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 fire. I don't know.
It really
Kind of
makes
interesting.
me wonder, does our does the cells in our brain go somewhere else? Are we living two places at once? Are we, when we dream, do we live, and are we
That is,
present at another place doing something else in another reality? Are we? The only reason I say this is because I can hear my echo in you today. That is a long echo. Jeez. Uh,
you can hear your echo in me.
and for some, yeah,
There
but
shouldn't be any way for
it's
you to
very
pick up
faint.
me
It's
to pick
very
up the audio.
faint. But anyway, then the only reason I say that is because of those vivid dreams that I would have, the reoccurring vivid dreams of this town. I can get on the interstate in this town and go down one exit and tell you exactly what's on the offering, what's at that exit. There's a little cafe, and then there's a little truck stop, and then you keep going and there's town with a mall. I can tell it's a fake world that I dream about. There's a high
I
school that's a hotel. It's like an amalgamation of a high school and hotel. It's just a weird, but I always dream about the same place. Not every night, but when I have that dream, it's always pow.
I also remember. I think it's cool that when you can go into a dream and you could have like a moment where you're like, oh, you're in front of a place or you're doing a thing, but there's like in that moment that you're there, that place could have an entire history that you kind of remember or are aware of, but like
Yeah,
didn't go through.
yeah.
That's so. So for a moment there, you're being a little bit like a storyteller about dreams, though, because you say that stuff like, oh, it could be living in two worlds, and I'm like, no, your brain is just confused, and you have all these bits and pieces of information that you observe throughout the day or week or whatever, and your brain is like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm gonna make a story because that's what I do. I make stories out of
You,
things.
you could be right. I could be right.
You could be right. Okay. All right.
Maybe. Who knows? We don't know.
So Jeremy is reminding me of the Penske truck incident. We've fallen up to this irrigation supply company. I thought it was a mechanical supply company. I thought it was a repair shop. So there was this uh, there was this one time my brother and I. It was just like 20 years ago or something. We saw this Penske yellow box truck driving down the street, and I guess it drove past our house like two or three times, and something set off our spider sense about this truck. Like, well, where is this guy doing? What is he doing?
Right.
Maybe we were driving, and we happened to be behind him, and then we saw him acting weird or something, or
Right.
going through the school parking lot, something like that. Something about this truck set us off, and we were like, "What's going on with this?" And we followed the truck. We followed the truck to this irrigation supply company, which was behind, I think, a mechanic, like like a place where you'd go get your body shop, something like
Right.
that. Okay, and he says that for a week after that incident, he had a dream of fighting a bunch of people and killing them, and then he heard footsteps in his house when he was dreaming. And he said to himself in his dream, Jeremy, that was real. Wake up. So he went through and stalked through the house, and mom had woke up. So I guess my
Wow.
brother almost killed my mom.
That's lucid. I think he's
Dark.
saying that, Jeremy, that was real.
Oh,
Wake up,
he's
when he was in
saying
the dream.
it's real. Wake up. Oh,
Yeah, that's lucid. That's lucid dreaming.
man,
Absolutely.
that's
Not
it's
reoccurring
real.
lucid dreaming, but that's straight up knowing that you're
Right.
dreaming and telling yourself to wake up. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. This morning, so last night I was up too late playing my dumb game, and I couldn't turn my brain off, I guess, and then I went to sleep. Eventually, I was able to go to sleep, and then I had this dream that I was involved in some game with ornaments, where I would throw a string of ornaments or something would happen, and I couldn't get out of this dumb game of ornaments. And it was just an endless loop of doing something with ornaments. And then I finally broke out of it, and I looked down at my watch, and it's 6:15, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to grab my computer and go downstairs and do my thing downstairs, and because my wife's asleep, and so I jump out of bed, and I go take a shower, but my wife kindly wakes up so that I can do the show here. But that little dream about ornaments, about throwing ornaments, and it would just reset and it wouldn't stop. I mean, I couldn't get out of it, and I was almost like locked in. And I think it got to the point where I slightly stirred awake, and I was like, oh my god, this dream of ornaments is awful.
See, that's one thing that I don't believe, that I think we didn't know as a race, as a society, and we're starting to know a little bit more about, is I don't think that we were taught that you only dream during REM sleep, or the fourth cycle, the deepest sleep. And that's bullshit. I think that's bullshit. I can lay down and be asleep in 10 minutes and be dreaming, within 5 or 10 minutes. I've been sitting on the couch and like nodded off on the couch and hadn't been asleep for 5 minutes and been dreaming about something and been woke up and been like, I was dreaming that blah, 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 blah. So how am I in my deepest, I just think that we don't know everything that we think we do about a lot of things. And I think this is one. I think dreams in our subconscious is one that in 100 years, we're going to be like, 100 years ago, we used to think this. I think that's going to be one of those things. It's going to, like, we look back at the Middle Ages and think, when they had a headache back then, even in George Washington's time, you know why George Washington died? Because he wanted himself bloodletted. He was sick and he wanted himself bloodletted, and they let out too much of his blood. He ended up dying like a week later or something because of it. They let out like 40% of his blood or some shit. So that used to be a medical fact. All right. That used to be a medical fact 200-300 years ago. So 150 years from now, dreams might be something that you're like, oh, yeah, this is whatever. I'm not saying that we go to the universe, but I'm saying they might be going, they used to think you only dreamed in the third. They used to think there were 4 cycles and you only dreamed in the 4th cycle.
So type of thing. I'm going to one up you here. Here's what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
Elon's going to finish making Neuralink, and they're going to figure out which receptor it is that activates when you're dreaming. And then they're going to have an app on your phone. You'll be like, oh, go ahead of this dream. And you'll be able to load up some dream program.
A video game in your dream.
Zonk yourself into a dream. It's going to be so disappointing for humanity.
And you can buy dreams. We need to start a website right now. We need to get this so that we can be the first people to start selling dreams. So when this technology comes out, we can sell you customized dreams. So what do you want to dream? You want to be a pirate?
Yeah, we'll call the company Total Recall. Yes. Total Recall.
Great.
We're literally just gonna.
Are great.
We're gonna steal Elon's technology and make a new company called Total Recall.
I can't remember any good Arnold lines from that movie.
What's the one where he's bugging his eyes out and he's like, and his eyes bug out in the sand? Does he say something there? Jeremy will know. Jeremy will know some Arnold lines.
Even Jeremy was like, isn't that Total Recall?
Yeah. I just looked down and saw that.
Yeah, it is. My bad. I knew I had that idea from somewhere. Both of those movies were really good, I thought. The first one was grand, but I thought the second one was not bad.
Let's see. This was the second one, the one with Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I don't know who thought that they could replace Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall, and it be
if you're going to do a new one, you're going to do a new Total Recall. You couldn't use Arnold again. He was the governor today.
I mean, it was probably okay, but I feel like it was not a. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
the first one was
you can't replace a classic with like an okay movie. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I don't understand is and Hollywood did there for a while is like why are you trying to reinvent the mousetrap? Because that one was perfect. So why are you trying to redo?
Agreed.
It's like you don't want to redo. If they were like a brand new Tombstone in 2024, I'd be like, bullshit. I'm going to fight somebody. You don't remake that movie.
You made my wife laugh. She can hear you.
Oh,
I mean, but the idea that reference is so old that there's two of them.
Yeah. No.
I mean, that's an old reference.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. The Arnold version had so many great one-liners. It did. Honestly, I was watching. I don't know what this. I think it was on. I think it was on YouTube. It was like a GQ series of like actors and their and like famous roles. They had a Christopher Lloyd one where he was talking about his roles.
Doc Brown.
I was driving home from Christmas and I was just running these YouTube videos and and there were and one of them was Arnold talking about like Terminator and Predator and all of this stuff. And he kept talking about these one-liners, and obviously his most famous one-liner is "I'll be back." And he was arguing with James Cameron. He was like, "I do not think this doesn't sound right." And James Cameron was like, "Well, how would you say it?" He said, "I will be back." And James Cameron was like, "No, you're not gonna do it like that."
Really?
So he made Arnold just say, "I'll be back," and it was like Arnold's tongue was tripping over this word.
Yeah.
He just made him say, he's like, just say it like 10 times in a row, and we'll do it on the 10th one. He's like, "I'll be back, I'll be back, I'll be back, I'll be back."
I have to do that when I do certain. Hey, that's true.
And then, hey, so look, is that kind of Christmassy? It's a little Christmassy. If it's disorienting, let me
great Arnold one-liners. Get to the chopper from Predator.
Yeah.
My favorite one comes from Eraser, and it's a throwaway line. It's not even a famous one. It's just one that it was always my favorite line. Comes from that movie Eraser. Remember it had Vanessa Williams in it, I think. He was trying to
I remember watching that movie, but I don't remember if I watched it on DVD. I don't think I watched it on in the theater. I only watched it once too.
They're trying to figure out if those people are there or something. I don't remember, but he walks up to this car and he puts his hand on the hood and he goes, "The engine is still warm."
Does he really?
The engine is still warm. And I always cracked up when he said it.
Arnold is just the best personality. I mean, he's like, nobody's perfect. He's got human issues and stuff, but he's an entertaining dude. He always was. Okay. Did you pull? My wife's favorite is Kindergarten Cop. It's not a tumor. That one. It's not a tumor.
That's she's right.
I
that's
mean,
probably
we
one
could
of the
just talk
best.
about Arnold movies for such a long. Did you ever watch? There was one where he cloned himself, and I don't remember what that was. I think it started with an S. There was a movie where Arnold was a clone of Arnold, or he didn't clone himself. Somebody else was cloning him.
I think
there was a movie.
Twins.
There was a movie where he fought the devil. Yeah, Twins.
That one was. She's right. That one's a great movie. I would watch that one at a flat heartbeat right now again. Twins. That was such a great movie. I watched over the weekend. I was just bored sitting there at the house Sunday, and I was flipping through Roku. We got 40 different things, and I was just flipping through Roku. And the category was fixing to leave. Fixing to leave Roku. I was like, okay, let me flip through there. And there was an 80s movie that I don't know if I'd ever seen that was fixing to leave with Danny DeVito and Bette Midler called Ruthless People. And I know it was a straight up like 84, 85 movie where it was beautiful. It was such a good movie. A young Bill Pullman was in that movie, and it was just a funny movie. Judge Reinhold was in it.
Wow, Judge Reinhold. I haven't seen that dude in a while.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a funny movie, but it was an 80s movie. I was
Okay.
like, man, I need to watch a bunch of these 80s movies.
We are way off topic right now.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. I like talking about this.
Hey, I got some shout outs. I got a couple shout outs from comments from people on YouTube and stuff that left us a couple of comments.
Tinsel's freaking me out, man.
Is it? It's bugging you? I really want snow, but I haven't got snow backstop clip yet. So I thought this would be okay. Yeah, it's a little bit. I think it's gonna make me nauseous and throw up. So I'm gonna go back to purple. Maybe I'll just change this to. I'll just change the color of this one to red and white. I'll do that later. Okay.
What kind of files does it take when you upload?
I mean, I have like a I don't know, an MP4 video file, and then I have like overlays on top of that to, I don't know. I can't do it that fast.
That's cool.
So the other day when Deacon, when you and I were having a conversation, let me see YouTube Studio. We had a comment on one of our videos. We must have been talking about something that was like super interesting too. It must have been like deeply compelling.
We always talk about super interesting stuff, dude.
It had to be just like the best, because we had a comment. Let's see. Here we go. It was on our Go Woke and Get Broke on the new CEO. Remember that video we did where we talked about Wakanda forever and not making very much money?
Oh no.
And so we must have talked about that for a little bit. Well, user @7294SMK said to us, "You guys should just call each other." I guess instead of doing videos. Okay. Thanks, buddy.
We did call each other.
Up. We did. You're on the phone call.
You're on the phone call.
You're on it.
It's a video call
right now. Yeah.
that we record and put on Rumble.
Yeah. And I want, and also, and I'm not really burning the comments here. I just think they're funny. So I don't. No, and I appreciate the comments. And you guys want to make fun of us? Please leave a comment and make fun of us, and I'll read it on the air. I don't care. Whatever. Mary Campbell 1576 said about 9 hours ago. She said, "It says Alzheimer's. How did that go unnoticed?" So on our Mighty Thor's Greatest Foe is Alzheimer's episode, I misspelled Alzheimer's on the title card. So I have
spelled Alzheimer's.
I spelled it without a Z. So I went back in and made a new title card and fixed it. And I said, "You're right. That's what I get for making show titles at 6:15 in the morning. Amateur hour over here. Thank you for watching and pointing it out." So
That's awesome.
Yeah. And Alzheimer's. It looks like
maybe you did it that way on purpose.
And it looks like whilst we were asleep, at Prima Fascia 5029 said, well. Looking forward to whenever everyone else catches on. Kudos for the catch. And that was from our Scary Poppins registered as foreign agent. So I don't know exactly. I don't know what they're going to catch on to other than us dad joking shit up. But
it's very cryptic.
Yeah, I appreciate the comments, folks. And please leave comments. You know what? Your comments are going to help me and Deacon trick the internet into thinking that people like us and they want to be here and we want you here. And we've already lost a viewer just in the last minute.
Jeremy left.
Oh, well, maybe Jeremy left. Maybe he's going to poop. Who knows? Actually, I don't believe that. I think he'd carry the phone. Yeah, we got stories.
9 minutes in.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see.
We can talk about Snap.
Let's do before we get to our show title. Which did you see the title card, Deacon? You did? Yeah. Do you recognize that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
I like that little short. Me and the girls liked it too. It's cute.
Let me go here. I wanted to play the video, but I'd get copyright struck and taken down. Yeah, right.
Disney would take our children from us. They're ours.
Yeah. Now. Yeah. You'd think you can just play our videos? Well,
We own your children.
No,
You can read the fine
no
print.
more gummy bears for you on Disney Plus. You are banned.
No, I
Oh,
love the
come
gummy
on,
bears
guys.
bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Bob Iger, come on, man. I'm on your team. Stop making shitty movies.
I know.
We actually want you to do good. All right. So before we get to that, this is very important news. Very important, real news. Real news.
Yeah.
Apparently, the president of the United States Oil and Gas Association says that Biden's energy policy is, quote, inconsistent and illiterate.
You think so? Maybe.
I mean, this is something you could have figured out on January 20th, 2020.
Yeah, I think most of the, normal people in the United States realize that, like JJ said, on January 20th, 2020, after his
Yeah.
first action, when he
Yeah.
unprecedentedly took an action on the very first day that a president took office. And no other president has ever done anything like that. So agenda, maybe? Huh.
Yeah. He came into office and he was like, I'm gonna revoke the licenses for the Keystone Pipeline, and like thousands of people were out of work. The entire oil industry was like, "F this administration's against oil, and we're not gonna be able to do anything." I mean, yeah.
I just saw this picture in my phone.
Retarded president.
I probably deleted it as I was going through deleting stuff, but it was one of those that I had saved. And it was gas prices in in January. It was gas prices January 18th or January 19th of 2020. And it was a picture of the gas station gas prices. It was $1.86. I remember it was $1.86. And I've kept that picture on my phone. I just can't find it. Yeah. Gas has finally went down here. It is under $3 a gallon. It was $2.88 this morning as we went by. Which I don't know how much.
It just reminded me that there was like a video clip of Joe Biden just lying about gas prices. I can't find it that fast. Okay, we're going back to this article. The president of the Oil and Gas Association, Just the News. I love your news site. Can you get your effing videos up out of my corner of my page or whatever?
Yeah, crap.
Guys, it sucks, guys.
If you scroll up past the video, then the damn video stays in the page.
Look at this.
Crap.
What's up, Deacon? How you doing? Hey, what's happening? President of the Oil and Gas Administration, Oil and Gas Association, Tim Stewart, says that the president, Joe Biden's energy policies are inconsistent and hurting the American economy. Quote, the administration's views on some oil as good and some oil as bad for whatever reason. Stewart said Monday on the Just the News No Noise TV show. I didn't know Just the News had a TV show. It's news to me. So investment in a field in Venezuela is fine, but investment in a field in North Dakota or off the Gulf Coast of Louisiana is bad. It's inconsistent energy policy. Frankly, it's an illiterate energy policy. You know that Joe Biden approved Chevron to go to Venezuela to drill for oil. Do you know that? Makes no sense.
What do these oil companies think about all these electric battery and electric electric vehicle policies that the government is making? Because I know around our area, just in Kentucky and down in Clarksville, Tennessee, between here and Nashville, there's going to be 2 major electric car factories and a battery factory that's being built. It was huge news for Kentucky and in our area when this other battery factory.
Oh, really?
Battery factory. Yeah. So I wonder what that's something that you don't hear. You know, what is Chevron? What is British Petroleum? What do they think about these policies that are, we're going to make America electric by 2040 or whatever? What? Yeah, because the British Petroleum and Chevron have more money than God, so they can do whatever they want. What are you reading?
Over on Rumble, a user called Tesla News is advertising Elon Musk on YouTube, which is obviously fake and fake and fake. So I don't know what's going on over there. You know what I really want to know is I want to know what's the energy cost of acquiring the materials to build batteries for electric cars. How come we don't have anybody ever break that down for us? You know how much it costs to dig lithium out of the ground? And do you know how much lithium we have in the United States?
Right.
The answer is not very much. And China tried to buy the land where that lithium was at.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't think you got any lithium in Kentucky.
No, but you know what we do have in
So
Kentucky? Guess.
coal.
Coal. A
Yeah.
fuck ton of it.
Yeah. You know what you can't make if you don't use coal? Everything.
Everything.
you,
You know
you
the
can't
2
make steel.
trains?
You
You
can't
know the
make
2
anything.
trains that have come by this radio station since we have been on this morning in 30 minutes? You know, guess what they were carrying and emptying and going back empty? Coal.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
huge
Coal.
coal pile over here that's like freaking huge.
Do you know how many batteries it takes to start a forge to smelt steel? Infinite, because you can't do that. You have to burn coal to make steel. You know what you can't have if you don't have coal to make steel? I don't know, surgical tools, building materials for houses,
Well, you know,
nails.
this is what scares me about all electric vehicles is EMP bombs. You know,
Oh yeah,
and I was always told that our buddy over there in North Korea, Kim Jong Un, um, when he would fire those missiles, and you know he fired missiles there for a while, and they were saying years ago, and they were saying, oh, they failed because they didn't go up as high as he wanted them to. Or they
right.
failed because they didn't go up so high or as high as a nuclear blast. But what the people were failing to realize was that somebody pointed out, they were like, yeah, for a nuclear blast, this was no, it didn't go. But for an EMP blast, that's perfect range. You know, so if we go to all electric cars and something happens, the look what happened down in Florida with the cars that got waterlogged. We had a picture
Right.
of that up.
Yeah, the cars got
Were
flooded and it
blowing up,
caught on fire.
and the firefighters didn't know how to. They didn't know how to
They're like,
handle blue.
how do we put this thing out? We can't put this out.
So
Things burning hot.
if something happens like that, it's
I
going
mean,
to go
like,
back to the guy that owns the 1972
I
Ford
think,
Bronco.
yeah, I think electric cars are cool. I would be happy to not pay very much for gas. That would be
Me
like
too.
dope. That would be
Just
awesome.
to
The
have
torque,
one to go
the
back and
outright
forth to
speed.
work.
But
Yeah,
dude, you're gonna bankrupt me to try to make me buy an electric car. F you.
$40,000 for one of those fucking cars. Kiss my
Yeah,
ass, man.
yeah, no way.
I can't
They're like,
even.
it's like no matter what, if the government like gets involved, mandates it, tries to create an incentive, whatever, they're gonna fuck it up, dude. Every single time. They're nothing but a bunch of fuck ups.
All
All
right, I got
right.
you here in just a second.
I'm off the rails a little bit. Okay, so let me get back to this while he's doing that. So Stewart said that Marxism has really corrupted and brought down the oil and gas industry. Venezuela used to actually produce 3 million barrels a day until the Marxists took over and and then the sanctions followed. So now they're down to 700,000 barrels a day. And the reality is they're an important producer, but they'll never be a real producer as long as the Marxists are in control. According to Stewart, the only way that Venezuela will become a real producer of oil is if Western companies step up and help them. The reality is that Venezuela will never get to where they need to be until you bring in Western companies with the Western technologies and experience. What happens is whenever you put sanctions on a country and the Americans in the West pulled out and the Russians and Chinese move in, that's exactly what happened in Venezuela. So the power of capitalism is that it efficiently moves resources and technology where needed to where it needs to go because there's a motivation to produce. Whereas these Marxists, they're just like they're corrupt and they put in their cousin's guy from college into the to run the company so that they'll get some kickbacks. It's all just corrupt. So anyway, you're not gonna too close. You're not gonna get a great deal of production out of Venezuela. And it is absolutely crazy that we're paying extra to get oil out of Venezuela instead of just turning on energy in the United States. We have more energy in the United States than like anywhere. And we have a dipshit president who's beholden to freaking burlap wearing whatever those weird sandals are. Deacon wears those sandals, I think. Yeah.
Birkenstocks.
So yeah,
I didn't like Birkenstocks because they had a little ridge in front of the toe, and I didn't like that ridge. I wore Doc Marten sandals. In Eastland, I had some Eastland sandals. Yeah, I had Doc Marten sandals.
Oh my god!
You wouldn't have hung out with me in high school, dude.
Oh, I don't know.
No,
dude, I don't know what you're thinking. Like you have a confused interpretation of what I was like in high school. I was also in the band.
That was weird.
Okay. All right. So now let's get on to the real big news.
Okay.
This is gonna blow smoke.
You're mad.
According to Justin. Okay, so today's title of the show is I'm going to pronounce this wrong. I apologize to my my wife and her people. My wife is Hawaiian.
I didn't know that. Really? No, I didn't know that.
My wife is Hawaiian. Wow. That's right. She was born on a base in Honolulu, and she lived there until she was like 6 weeks old, and then they got out of there.
Oh, okay.
But technically, she's Hawaiian.
That's cool.
So I'm married to a Hawaiian girl. So I'm going to apologize to the people of Hawaii for mangling this important name.
Mauna Loa?
Mauna. Okay, Mauna Loa. I haven't heard any people say it, so I guess it's Mauna Loa.
Mauna Loa. Oh, Mauna I didn't know what you were going to say. I was like,
yeah,
okay.
So I was going to say it wrong.
I think it's
Mauna
Mauna
Loa.
Mauna Loa.
All right. Look, this is a professional show right here.
Yeah, it's all right.
Hey, if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe or rumble and follow or comment.
We do this live. That's something that I tell all of my kids that I train for the radio. That's one of my rules that I tell them. If you don't know how to pronounce it, don't say it or ask somebody, because you don't want to get on there and be like, that was Dwight Yoakam.
Last night at like 10 o'clock, I went to Google and I was like, Google, how do you say this? And he has a pronounce button and it pronounced it. And it was like, Mauna Loa. And my wife was like, what the heck is that? Turn that off. My wife is yelling at me because it was too late. And I had the computer telling me how to pronounce it. Anyway, okay. So once again, from Just the News. The world's largest active volcano erupts on Hawaii's Big Island. The big island. The big one that's big. Hawaii. That one, it's big.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
That's the big island.
Officials say the volcano will likely be confined, but the situation could change rapidly. And I've seen some discrepant reporting in terms of how long it's been. So we'll see if this story says it, whatever. But Mauna Loa, the world's largest active volcano, and I think the largest subaerial, but not subaquatic. It's not the largest subaquatic volcano, but it is the largest subaerial. So that's under the sky, above the water.
Yeah.
So the world's largest active volcano began erupting in Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, causing an ashfall advisory in the state's Big Island. The eruption began late Sunday evening local time, and lava flows as of Monday morning are not threatening people living downslope, according to the U.S. Interior. So thank God. Probably one of the worst things I can imagine is like, I'm out, in my backyard playing frisbee with the kid. Oh my God, a volcano's erupting.
The worst thing imaginable is Pompeii, basically.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that always, Pompeii was always, to me, I was like, jeez.
Oh my God, I guess we can't live here.
God.
Cut to 800 years later. Oh, we found their ash-covered bodies.
We found some guy whacking off.
Whoa.
You never saw that Pompeii?
Nope. And I'm not Googling that either.
Yeah, don't Google that, but just trust me on
that. Nope. Winds may carry volcanic ash and possibly fine ash and Pele's hair downwind, the agency said. Pele's hair is a fine glass fiber from volcano. Officials said the volcano will likely be confined, but the situation could change rapidly. The volcano is the largest active in the world, according to CNN. A quarter of an inch of ash could fall on parts of the island, and the National Weather Service in Honolulu is warning people with respiratory illnesses to stay inside. Anyone outside is advised to cover their mouth with a nose and nose with the cloth. Let me tell you this, Deacon. I'm sure
Yikes.
you know this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I took geology in college, and one of the many interesting things I learned in geology, which that class just rocks, is that when volcanoes erupt,
Rocks. Get it? Rocks.
it's yes. I thought I snuck it in the radar.
No,
The
I
rock
got that.
when rocks melt and become ash, the ash is like the ash from volcanoes. It's not like wood or whatever.
No.
It's literally
Glass.
ash of rocks, dude. It's
Oh, I thought it was glass.
it's little triangular shards of rock, little microscopic shards of rock that are ash. And then you breathe that in, and guess what? It just lacerates your lungs and scars them up. That stuff will kill you. So I looked it up
Jeez.
last night. Yeah, it's freaking awful. Awful. So this story reminded me of that because I was like, oh my God, yes, if you're anywhere near there and you're breathing this stuff, you better you put a respirator on, a wet cloth, something. Keep that stuff from going in your nose. And I'm sure the people in Hawaii know, but like for the rest of us that obviously have to worry vicariously about living on a fucking bomb island.
Dude. I has your wife been back too? Have y'all been to Hawaii since she was living?
And she's asking me to go. She's like,
Yeah,
maybe
dude,
for our
go.
20th, we'll go to
No,
Hawaii. And
absolutely.
I'm like,
no,
do you know how many
that's
hours
not
in
a
an airplane that's going to be?
Yeah, it was from St. Louis. It was 8 hours for us, 8 or 9. It was a nonstop flight. It was nonstop, and we were on a 747, so we were on a huge airplane. It had like 3 seats, an aisle, 4 seats, an aisle, and 3 more seats. It was a huge airplane.
I used to fly across the Pacific, and it would be like these giant airplanes. And it would be like a 13, 14, because I would go from like somewhere on the West Coast to like Seattle or something to Korea. And it'd be like, it'd be this giant airplane chartered by the military.
Yeah.
So there'd be like room for like, I don't know, 200 people on the plane, and there'd be like 50 of us. So I would lay across like 3 seats and sleep.
Oh, see, that's awesome.
5 seats. That'd take up a whole row.
Hawaii was one of the most beautiful places I've ever gone. I remember that place very fondly. Our marching band was chosen to go and march in the King Kamehameha parade over there.
Really?
Our marching band used to be nationally known, huge, very huge award-winning band. And they chose 2 bands from the continental United States, and we were one of them. But it was really cool. I was just mentioning Hawaii. I was just remembering Hawaii the other day. Ashley's mom brought over a pineapple, and we were cutting the pineapple and eating it. And I had a sour piece. And I told her, I said, man, every time I eat pineapple, I always think we went to the Dole Pineapple Factory and had a fresh pineapple that was cut there. And man, that was the best thing that you've ever eaten in your life. God, it was so good. So, Hawaii, dude, if your wife wants to go back to Hawaii, that's well worth the trip just to do the touristy thing, just to see it. We went to Oahu and we stayed right down from Diamond Head, and we got to do the touristy thing and see all the stuff. And
I mean, aside from the fact that you had to take that flight, I'm kind of jealous because I would love to see it, but I don't like to fly. I just don't enjoy it.
I'm like you. I'm exactly like you. I don't like to fly. I hate to fly. I was using the vaccine thing as a ha. Didn't get the vaccine, never have to fly again. that automatically keeps me off airplanes. I was kind of happy about that.
I would take a boat, even if it took like, I don't know, a week or something to get out there. I would sail.
No, I'm not a cruise person either. God put me on the ground for a reason. I'm not a air person. I'm not a sea person.
All right. So I want to talk about this volcanic ash in your lungs, man. This is horrendous stuff.
Why are you wanting to kill us with lungs?
I'm not wanting to kill you. I just want everybody to have this, like, vicarious mental trauma. So
I don't want that.
This is what I prepared.
You prepared to mentally trauma us this morning?
Yeah. Yeah, for the people that watch this and then fall asleep, and then they're gonna have dreams about being like, "Oh my god, I'm in Hawaii." So, I just thought it was interesting. I think it's
It is
interesting.
very interesting. No,
All
it
right.
is very interesting.
So,
I'm just at you.
so volcanoes, they spew ash, and which is like pollution, but it's like rocks, and it goes in your lungs. And then, hold on, is this? I'm sorry, this is from lung.org, and it's way less interesting than I was
I
expecting.
know. I was starting to say. I was like, "Are you going to give me a health?"
I thought this was going to be good, and I started getting in this. I was like, hold on, you guys just telling us to wear masks. Stop.
I ain't wearing
Never
a mask.
mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Brian over here says, Brian over on rumble.com, which is the place that you guys should be subscribing because occasionally YouTube bans me. Brian says that many of them, and I think by them he means Hawaiians, still wear masks and the other lockdown nonsense. To which I say, Hawaiians, liberate yourself from those lockdowns. Don't wear masks because they tell you you're going to catch COVID. Wear them if you want to.
Are a
or
lot
don't.
of Japanese
But definitely
people.
wear them because of volcanic ash, because
There's
that
a-
is going to kill you.
There's a lot of Japanese people and Oriental people that live on the island too, that aren't
You can't
islanders.
say-
Why can't I
Deacon,
say
you can't-
Oriental? Is that a bad word? Asian
No,
people?
Deacon,
What the fuck
Asian.
word do I
You can say Asian. You
Jesus,
can say
why is
Asian. You can't say
Oriental? Why is that bad? Why is that bad?
Oriental, because Oriental is a word that describes objects from the Orient.
No,
not
it describes the Orient.
No, it's
someone
it's
from the Orient is Oriental. I'm from Benton. I'm a Bentonian. I'm a Kentuckian. I'm an American.
All right.
I'm not being.
All right, YouTube. Hey, YouTube. That was not me. That was. It's okay.
We live in goddamn clown world. I've got a fucking. Whatever.
Okay, so you're saying there's Asian folk in the Pacific Islands, which is a little shocking. I mean, not so. So they wear masks a lot. Kind of like, is it kind of like would you say like a kind of cultural thing? Because I know that definitely Japanese people have been wearing masks for like ever. And in fact, even maybe in
can't
Korea,
say that.
Oh, what do you mean? I can say Japanese people.
Oh, you can't say.
You said Japanese people. You can't wear masks. I can't say masks. Oh my God! Is there anybody we haven't offended this morning?
Jesus, I mean, that's
okay. Jeremy is giving you the okay to say Oriental or whatever the hell you want.
I wasn't being.
I know you're not. It's my understanding. That's just my understanding. Is that word a reference to like rugs and like objects? That's all.
It was my understanding
Maybe I'm wrong.
Reference to anything from the Orient, including people and fucking animals and shit. You know, that's from the Orient. I'm from the West. I'm a Yankee, according to them. I'm a Westerner.
Whatever.
I'm not from the West.
Hey, folks listening, if you're watching this later and you're offended, please leave a comment. I would love to read it tomorrow.
Leave a comment.
The best.
You're offended.
Please.
I'm just a dumb honky cracker, I guess.
All right.
I can be. You can call me all the disparaging remarks you want, but I can't say something. You know, not even trying to offend. I can't even say it, not even trying to offend without offending somebody, but you can offend me on purpose and I can't say anything.
I think you're starting to get the rules of this game, Deacon. White guy's bad. That's the game. Whatever we'd say.
White people are the worst things that's ever existed on earth. I don't know why God created white people, because they're just like pieces of shit. White people are pieces of garbage. Okay. I said it.
Deacon is joking. YouTube. That's.
Oh kiss my ass, YouTube. Rumble's
I'm gonna get a strike. I'm gonna get a strike. Please subscribe on Rumble.
How long we got left? 20 minutes. Let's talk about something else. We've had a good show until we get pissed off.
What'd you bring for filler? Because I said hey, bring some filler, right? You got some filler. I got one more thing.
Okay.
No. I got one more thing. One more thing. If you don't have anything,
I do.
So I saw this and I avoided this, but hey, we're already in the shithole. So what the fuck? Why not? from this story is retitled over on revolver.com. Now Revolver has a 0 out of 100 on NewsGuard, but it links out to other stories. So listen to this. Revolver's title for this story is "Say What? Biden nuclear tranny caught and charged with stealing woman's luggage in an airport." But that's not the actual title. Come on, Revolver. Be more responsible. We can't put tranny in a title. So the actual title of the article is controversial energy official charged with stealing woman's luggage at MSP. That would be Minnesota airport. So this is from alphanews.org, which is NewsGuard certified at 62 out of 100. Thank you, YouTube. This is legitimate news. As you can see, this lovely woman-ish looking man is what would you call it? Vamping? Is that vamping where you're like, look at me? This MIT grad went viral earlier this year when he announced his new role. I'm not gender assigning. This is what's written right here. He announced his new role as the Department Assistant Secretary of the Office of Spent Fuel and Waste Disposal in the U.S. Department of Energy. That is, this guy's basically in charge of nuclear waste. This guy is this person is in charge of nuclear waste. Sam Britton, one of the first openly gender fluid individuals in federal government leadership, was charged with felony theft last month after allegedly stealing a woman's luggage at MSP airport. Quote, as one of, if not the only first, not the very first openly gender fluid individuals in federal government leadership, I was welcomed with open arms into the Department of Energy all the way up to the secretary, whom I shared the stage with in Pride Month celebration panel just today. Britton wrote on Twitter at the time that he was promoted. He said he is not a Biden appointee, but instead was hired as a career employee in the senior executive service. Britton accepted the job in February and began in June, according to media reports. Prior to working in government, he was an anti-conversion therapy activist who taught Kink 101 workshops. Here you can see, I guess so. Yeah, you can see here he's standing in a dress. He's bald. He's got lipstick on. He looks really awful. And there's people in dog masks, and this says Kink 101. So this person is in charge of our nuclear waste.
He is.
But that's not all. Waste. Yeah. Law enforcement officials at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport were alerted to a missing suitcase in the baggage claim area on September 16th. The adult female victim, that is not this freak, the adult female victim said she flew into MSP on a Delta flight from New Orleans and went to retrieve her checked bag at Carousel 7. Airport records confirmed the navy blue Vera Bradley roller bag arrived at 4:40 p.m., but was missing from the carousel. So law enforcement reviewed the video footage from the baggage claim area and observed Britton removing the navy blue roller bag from the Carousel 7, according to a criminal complaint. The complaint says Britton removed the luggage tag from the bag, placed it into a handbag he was carrying, and then left the area at a quick pace. At about 4:27 p.m. on American Airlines flight from Washington, D.C., but did not check a bag, meaning he had no reason to visit baggage claim, according to the complaint. So this ballsy lady went down to luggage carousel, stole some luggage, and got on a plane and took it with him. Whatever. It's just ugly. So
that was
so basically, yeah,
it was ballsy. That was that took some enormous gonads. So, yeah.
Okay, so the deputy under secretary of nuclear waste is out there stealing luggage at an airport near you. So felony charges have been filed against this guy, person, whatever. Okay, last thing, we just got this in from Manuel. Hello, Manuel. Been a while, haven't heard from you. Glad you're here. Thank you for stopping by. He posted the trailer for a Grinch movie. Would you like to watch this and then get the heck out of here, Deacon?
I was gonna read my Andor thing to you, but
yeah. Hey, tell me about the Andor thing. We can do the Grinch thing.
No, we can do the Grinch thing if you want to.
I am
The
unsure.
director of Andor just came out and made a response to everybody that's been talking about Andor. And it's kind of it was pretty good.
So you have to give me a little setup about what's the hullabaloo around the comment to give us some context. But go ahead, please.
Tony Gilroy is
Hold on, let me get this out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way, transgender felon.
Tony
All right.
Gilroy is he did Armageddon and Rogue One and some other things, but he did Andor too.
Is he the director of Rogue One, or is he just like a producer on it or something like that?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I don't have the link here to where I could actually click it. Yeah, one of the two. Director, I think. But you know how everybody and even you were saying, and you're kind of right. It was slow. It was slow. It was slow, and everybody's talking about how slow it was, but it was really good. And everybody's just kind of bitching about, this is not as good as the others or whatnot. And other people that had actually watched it were like, "Y'all are crazy." Well, this is what he said. Let me bring it up here, and I'll read it. I'll read it to you. It says, "That's some old shit, man. Everything, all of this shit is new, which is just really fascinating to be at the frontier of this new kind of storytelling, this new kind of scale." I heard that comment, this is slow, blah blah blah, along the way, even when we brought the episodes into Lucasfilm and Disney. I don't want to piss this guy off, obviously, but I wonder if he feels the same way now, because do you really think that you'll be able to appreciate what happened in episodes 8 and 9 and 10 as much without knowing what happened back in episodes 1, 2, and 3? You're absolutely enriched by it. It's like you go and watch a car commercial and they pull out a flag and a puppy and a truck and you go, "Oh, wow, the music's right," and you really feel something for a moment, but you walk away and you never think about it again. This is the empty calorie thing. If you really want to feel something, if you really want to have something that lives with you, the requirement for that is that you really care. You need that investment and that you made in the early episodes. I don't think I was like poking around. It's pretty exciting. I think it's a ripping yarn. It's an adventure story all the way through. But knowing Cassian is that kid who beat the shit out of the console in the flashback as a child after they killed his friend, and knowing that rage is in him, is really important. The idea that you have to wrap up every episode in a bow, and the old traditional thing was, "Oh, your first episode has to be your 7th episode." I've heard this shit my whole life. But as I said, I'm a disruptor. I'm going this way. There's times when you really want to package things. There's times where there are episodes that have better breaks and better drops than others. But I'm happy with all the ones that we have. I'm not unhappy with any of the time that we've spent with all of our characters. And I completely agree. I mean, I read that and I was like, it gave me goosebumps, because I was like, you are exactly right. I had a buddy that used to say, I would ask him to tell me the story of the Gunslinger. Tell me the Dark Tower series, the 7 books. I don't want to read. Tell me what happens. He would never tell me. He would say, "Dude, part of the story is experiencing the journey yourself. Taking the journey is a part of the story." And so he would never tell me. And that's what he's saying here. In order to, and because we all know what's going to happen at the end. We all know that Cassian dies. If you've seen Rogue One, we all know that that the rebels start, and we all know that they blow up the death. We know what happens, but this is the part of the journey that we've never got to experience before,
Okay.
I just liked when he said that. He responded.
He definitely sound
last episode, the 10th episode, and it wrapped up the whole story. And then he was like, "Hey, look, this is why the shit was kind of slow at the beginning, because you had to know this stuff, man."
Right.
And I completely understand, because I looked at it like, yeah, why? Yeah, that's a good point. Why are people complaining about that now? Because we would watch 15 Marvel movies to get to the 16th one.
I mean, we would. We're not anymore.
We're not anymore.
We did. We're not anymore. That's not happening anymore. We're skipping them now. We're like, no, I don't need that one. I'm good.
Yeah.
Skip. So I mean, okay, so this guy, I just looked him up. Tony Gilroy. He's the writer and I guess executive producer on Andor. He's obviously, to my mind, very defensive of the criticism that it's getting. And oh, Cassian dies. He dies.
Have you seen?
Go watch Rogue One. Yeah, go watch Rogue One. Okay, he is saying you have to know all this stuff, but okay, maybe you do. Here's the thing:
you don't
if
have
you
to know it.
it's you okay. You're right. And I'll give him his argument. I'll give him his argument, except for this: as an entertainer, if you can't get your audience captured to sustain the story, then you failed at the first step.
You're exactly right, but the caveat to this is a built-in audience. I don't have to capture an audience. I don't have to keep an audience. The only thing I have to do is appease some fanboys that are going to complain about everything, and fanboys complain about everything.
No, I think she's at the gym.
So that's what's going to happen.
I don't think so.
This has got a built-in audience.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, I was part of the built-in audience, and then I was like, my hours are too few, and I still haven't made it all the way through. And to be honest, I'm right now captivated by Titans, which is like a 5-year-old show. So
that's fun. That's fun. It took me a while to get through Android.
Yeah.
And Andor, but it was well worth it.
You had to start over.
I started over. It was 4 episodes in or something, and I didn't know what the hell was going on.
The guy, the point that this guy's making is probably valid if you accept for the fact that the creator's job is to loop the audience in. It's supposed to capture them. If you can't do that immediately, then it's a fail. Sweetie, do you know how many times I've been told I'm wrong in my life? It's okay.
She's right. What do you?
No.
That was a good joke. That was hilarious.
Okay.
That was hilarious.
Well, all right. Well, that's hey, Jeremy says he has fallen asleep watching Rogue One 4 times.
Oh no!
Jeremy used to have a fall asleep score for movies, and how many times he fell asleep in it was like how bad it was. It's not good. But he probably was watching them binging, So he probably was like
Empire Strikes Back every time. Every time Luke would go to Dagobah, I would fall asleep. That's the boringest shit.
Hold on, Dagobah. Oh, when he went to the swamp planet?
Yeah, with Yoda.
But that Empire Strikes Back, that's the one where he's training. That's the training montage. That's the one where he's up. That's not the worst part.
I hated Luke Skywalker's character. I hated the character. The whiny little bratty boy. And I understand that's how Mark Hamill acted him now. He could have acted him differently back then, and it would have probably been a different character. But that whiny ass little, I fucking can't stand that shit. I mean, I hate Luke Skywalker and Anakin when he's, it's like
I
had to appreciate. I'm like, well, the apple didn't fall far from the tree because y'all are both whiny little bitches.
I mean, I acknowledge that Luke Skywalker is whiny.
God, he's just I hate that whiny shit.
Pusswad, but I always interpret it as like, oh, he grew from
he did
pusswad into like a hero, because at the beginning of Return of the Jedi, he's like, oh, he's now a master. He's now a badass. Jeremy says, dude, Deacon, I've been saying that for years about Luke. He's freaking terrible. Oh, come on, you guys.
Even when he's a master.
Even
when he was a master, there's an argument in that last movie that he was being a little sissy because he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was if you're the only one left in the universe and you're like, I'm a master, who gets to decide you're a master? I'm a master.
You're living on an island, the one island on this whole planet that's got some fat cows that make blue milk and these weird looking things. And
so off scene, Luke was sitting on a rock somewhere, like on Dagobah. He's like, I'm doing what they told me. I'm doing what they hold on. I'm the only one left. I have all the credentials. I'm a master now. And probably Force Ghost Yoda was like, no. He was like, no. I'm the last one. That makes me a master. I'm a master now. Look how good I am at this. And then in the end of the Force, the Rise of the Jedi, he does the same thing. Sits in the rock. He's like, I'm gonna get him out of this, and then poof.
He force projects, and I understand that that's in the Star Wars lore. That's a huge undertaking to force project yourself like that all the way across the galaxy. But still, I'm not a Luke Skywalker fan. Never have.
Okay, all right. He probably could have gone to the planet where Kylo Ren was at and just force projected himself, like, I don't know, like 60 feet, and done the same thing, but maybe not killed himself.
He became one with the Force.
Yeah.
Like Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Like his master before him.
I mean, what he did was like ruin that movie. Is what he did. But it wasn't him. It was Rian Johnson.
But
Rian
JJ,
Johnson
can you ruin those movies, or were they already that way?
No, those movies didn't happen. Look at that.
What movies?
Look at that. Exactly. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is rumble.com/JJW. We are so glad you're here. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a something. We will read it tomorrow. And if it's bad enough, we might make fun of you. Thanks for watching. And here's the outro. Love you.